All right, so we'll go over the cones first. So what we'll do is we'll pretend that there's kids sitting here, and what I'll do is I'll get the cones, I'll bring them over and I'll explain. Here's what we're gonna do. Everyone's gonna get some cones. We're gonna spread them out all over the field. What we wanna do is we wanna make sure that the cones are spread out. They're not close together, all right? And when we put the cones on the ground, we're gonna give a loud boom when we put them on the ground, okay? And I'll demonstrate this every time. So I'll take 3 or 4 cones and I'll come around the field, boom! And we're gonna take another one, come way over here, put another one down, boom! And then come way over here, put another one down, boom! All right, and that way they're spread out, not next to each other all over the field. All right, so once they have all the cones set up, you wanna gather them back up in the dugout, rocket ship, whatever you wanna call it. So we'll have the kids back here. And then we'll explain with 2-year-olds, the first couple weeks, well, there's only 3 weeks this session, but for the first couple weeks, I'll have them kick them down with their feet. You can also have we'll demonstrate the ball as well. But so I'll get them back here and, you know, kids, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make a mess. We're gonna kick down all the cones. And I always explain the difference between just kind of running them over and then actually giving them a big kick. And then we'll, you know, so we'll have them all come out, and then they love it. They'll kick down all the cones as hard as they can. All right, so for the older children, what we'll do is before they kick down the cones, we'll have them kick the soccer balls from one end through the cones, with the object being not to knock down any of the cones. So we'll have 2 nets, and what I'll do is I'll take the net, you know, off of the soccer balls that are down. Again, on one end, that's why we like to keep them in one goal. It makes this game a little bit easier. We only have 1 goal set up right now, so I'll just bring this one down here. And what I'll explain to the children, they'll be sitting in the rocket ship monkey house dugout. So what I'll do is I'll say, okay, guys, the object is to get these balls, soccer balls, down from this end into this soccer goal down here. The object being not to knock down any of the cones. When coach says go, we'll come get 1 soccer ball. Again, we stress our feet, use your feet to get it. You know, I don't want to see anyone come pick it up with their hands, use those feet. And what we want to do is we want to do small kicks through the cones. If I give it a big kick, it's going to knock down a bunch of cones. So we want to do small kicks, keep the ball close to our feet. At the same time, we want to be fast about it. So we're going to kick down through the cones. If we think we're going to knock down a cone, we want to use this soccer stance to stop the ball, okay? We don't want to stop the ball with our hands. We want to use our feet to stop the ball, okay? And then once we get by all the cones, that's when we give it a big kick in the goal. Depending on how many soccer balls you have, when they get all the soccer balls down into the one side, if there's not a ton of soccer balls, what you can do is just take the goal back up, and then you can just have them kick the balls back to the opposite side into that goal. With the older kids, even 2-year-olds, after a few weeks of getting them to kick them down with their feet, we can have them use one of these inflatable soccer balls, or even one of the real soccer balls. And what we can do is we'll have them take the ball, we'll have them kick them up next to a cone, and what we'll do is we'll have them actually use the ball to kick the cone as hard as they can and get the cones down that way. That game eats up a little bit more time, and the kids do enjoy it, so it's a good one to go to. All right, so after all the cones are knocked down, again, gather them back up in the dugout, rocket ship, whatever you want to call it. And then next what we'll do is we'll have them actually tip the cones up using their feet. So with the younger kids and the older kids, I usually have them start out by doing it this way. I'll come over here, I'll grab a cone. All right, guys, everyone notice how the bottom of the cone has a square part on it? What we're gonna do is we're gonna come up behind the square part of the cone. We're gonna put 1 foot on top of that square part, and we're gonna pull back gently like this and stand them up. Also, with the older kids, sometimes we can have them do it a different way. They like this. I'll have them put their foot inside the cone, kick it up, catch it, and put it on the ground. All right, so after we have them all tipped up, what we'll do is we'll gather them back up. Okay, guys, I guess you don't need to gather them back up if you don't want to. But what we'll do now is we'll pick them up. Sometimes with the 2-year-olds, I'll do it by color. So we'll have a mixture of colors, different colored cones. And what I'll do is I'll have the parents assist usually and have them pick them up. I'll say, Coach is gonna call out 2 color cones. yellow and orange. You gotta find me all the yellow and orange cones and bring them back to coach. So, you know, I will demonstrate, you know, yellow or orange and yellow. So we'll have to run them back to coach and give them the coach. That eats up a little bit of time as well, and parents do like it because it's kind of an educational thing. And other than that, the older kids can just pick them up.